some CPU issues
Oh, Pete
Whoa!
set the invisible wall. Yeah, Pete had to set the invisible wall.
What the fuck? Huh? And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about the complications here. We having a little bit of technical issues on Matt's end, but we should be back and live anyway. But Jamie, we've just been having a quick discussion about drivers to keep an eye out for tonight. Obviously, Matt currently still in the pits right now, obviously having to deal with the computer issues that he's been having. But Gary Peaceful at the minute, top of the table. Overtaker currently just holding his pace back. This man made a very, very bold statement the other week, which he said his lap record is a 2:16 round here.
Yeah,
that
he's taken. Yeah, I think he's put some of Peaceful's sandbags at the minute because he's 9 seconds up, which would put him fourth. Oh, no, put him fifth behind Emperor. I'm pretty sure there's more time for him to find anyway. But yeah, Gary's always has been quite strong around here. I don't think though he's ever taken a win.
I don't think he's ever taken a win either, but nonetheless, we've got a couple of people in the chat. Digger, Argent and Smithy, and Argent says there's a couple of us away this week, and as you can see, yeah, there's a few drivers away. We have no Sati Apex, no Argent. Argent is currently enjoying the beautiful sunshine in Spain, I believe. So I hope he's having a lovely time. Streams Jumpy, yeah, we know it, Argent. We're trying to sort it out as best we can. No Sati Apex, and also no Mazda either. Mazda has just moved into his new, or trying to move into his new house over the weekend, so he's just making final touches to that. So no Andy and Disco no more. They pulled out of the championship as well. Smokey currently having internet issues, and I believe that's everybody else.
Yeah,
and Emo Guy we're missing.
Yeah, Emo Guy. We don't currently know where he is. Overtaker is on a better lap here, but it's not the 2:16 that he was on about. So whether he can actually put it into a 2:16,
he's not changing gear there.
Yeah, I think he is sandbagging a bit.
He's got to be sandbagging. There's no way you'd run fourth gear all the way through those sections there. I think Overtaker is trying to hide his true pace here, and I will be very intrigued to know how he does a lap around here, because he
goes 6 behind D-Bits.
Is he sandbagging, or has he genuinely got a problem?
I think if he generally had a problem, you'd see him into the pits. Yeah, he's just rev. I think he knows what his pace is. As Gary has actually gone quicker. He's now 1.2 quicker as Overtaker cuts across the Rouge. Anyone doing that tonight will definitely be getting a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, definitely so. And as we do a quick run of the championship standings, Overtaker, this man is leading the way as it stands, 208 points to his name. P2 currently is Matahimovic on 42 points behind his championship rival. In third place is Fury, 118 to his name, and 19 behind the race leader. And in 4th place is Andy, but sadly Andy pulling out the championships. How high can he stay on the championship before the end of the season? But not very high. If Emo Guy manages to turn up tonight, he's 97 points to his name and only at 111 behind the championship leaders. Then we move on to P6, D Biggs, part of the Pushing Limits Racing, currently 94 points to his name and 114.
I think it's Powerline Racing.
Powerline Racing, Pushing Limits. Yeah, I've got the names wrong there when setting this up. It's not Powerline Racing, I don't think. I think it's Pushing Limits Racing. I always make a mistake every single night, and there's the mistake right there. But luckily, it's only one Audi tonight to worry about as Argent's away. 7th at the minute is one of the Simplay Racing Ferraris of Peaceful Explosion. 86 points to his name and 122 off the lead, with Mazda currently decorating for Teletubby Motorsport in 8th place position, with the other Jaeger Motorsport driver of Gary 131, your 2-time constructors and drivers champion. He's doing a Dean Wasocki and putting his window wipers on. Nice to see that they work, but there's no rain forecast here.
No, so you almost spun it as well, coming through the chicane there.
Yeah, Gary just pushing the limits there, as you can see. Emperava comes up in the 10th place position for Smoking Hot Racing, ahead of both Audio Sport Pro Laps. Lamborghini Sutty is leading them away, with KLF in 12th place position and 64 points, getting a bit off the back of overtaken now, with Smoky Devil currently in 13th place position. 14th is Argent, and back on the grid once again after a couple of weeks out is Monkey Boy. He's back in his Ferrari. And that is your driver standings at the minute. Disco bringing up the rear, obviously only doing a 1 round. But the championship standings look like this. Silence of the Lambos still leading the way. Starting to extend that gap now after very 2 good rounds at Kota. And obviously at Zolder as well. 61 points ahead of Jaeger Motorsport. With Teletubby Motorsport currently in 3rd place position. Not too far behind the Jaeger Motorsport pairing either. With Audio Sport Pro Laps currently in 4th. Pushing Limits Racing in P5, and Audi in the Audi, and 171 points off the lead. Slingshot Motorsport are done for the season, and they will be in a P6. And in P7 is Smoking Hot Racing, 117 points to their name, and Simplay Racing are bring up the way in the Ferrari with 109 points. And Jamie, that's the championship standings. And the silence of the Lambos, even though there's just one on the grid at the minute, have really got a grip of this championship so far.
Oh yeah, they definitely have. So both Overtaker and Emo Guy have had 2 brilliant rounds at Kota and Zolder, and yeah, they're just starting to pull away from Matt and Gary. Matt not having the best of second races at Zolder, as Fury has now gone into second, 800 of Gary. So the Mercedes are showing their pace tonight. But
definitely.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, definitely so. As Matt crosses the line, he now goes and does a 24.3. He's had a little bit less practice session than compared to the rest. Obviously trying to sort out the computer issues that he's having. But it's very close at the top. The top 4 are only separated by 6/10. As I say that, D Biggs now goes up into 4th place position. And the top 5 now, D Biggs only 1.5 now. What, 1,500 points off Gary. It's tight.
Yeah, 10th. Yeah, he's only a 10th and a half off Gary. So as soon as Matt hooks at that, he's going to win. Whereas Matt, you're not in the Honda anymore. Go off the grass.
I think he's also still trying to sort out the stream as he's driving. So a very tall order there for Matt. The current lap records in the Pro for qualifying is actually held by a Ginetta of a 2:19.1, and these guys are still off that pace at this minute. But obviously in the summer, tyres probably don't like these conditions as much. But the race record for Pro-Am was a 2:20.5. Regarding Pro, the record is actually held by a Ginetta again in qualifying, but under the hands of Andy with a 2:18.2. And the race record is actually held by Mazda and the BMW with a 2:20.6. And so far, Jamie, we're nowhere near those lap times yet.
No, we're nowhere near those lap times at all. But so it's only practice at the minute, and that lap record, the race lap record for Mazda has stood since season 1.
Wow, since season 1, and we might see that broken here tonight. If that's the race pace that these guys are running, then we will definitely see that broken here tonight. And it's definitely going to be an interesting night's worth of racing. Spa always delivers some dramatic racing, has recently had an upgrade in the real life, and it looks a lot better for, especially for bikes and F1. It'll be interesting to see when the F1s return to here. There's a lot more gravel trucks, very much old school now, Jamie.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. So you say about the bikes return, and there was actually I think there was a 24-hour bike race a few weeks ago here. So they got Spa 24 hours, not too long away. Got F1 a few months away, yeah, which I think is about September time. Matt's going to come across the line, and he has gone only into 8th place, but he's only 3/10 off overtaker at the minute. So the pair of them might be sandbagging. But the upgrades you're talking about is down here. The barriers are a lot further away now from the track. I think there's a gravel track there as well, and Eau Rouge runoffs at Eau Rouge are a lot wider. There's also a grandstand at the top of the hill, which must be the best grandstand.
I believe also Eau Rouge. I always get mixed up which is which. Eau Rouge and Radion. I believe Radion is the top or the bottom. I think Radion's the top.
Radion is the top.
Right. So Eau Rouge. Eau Rouge has actually been more angled to the left, so it's actually slower than it has been in previous seasons. So now the cars have to actually brake instead, or slow down enough so that they can get up the hill to make it more safe for the bikes, obviously, because they'll be going up that with some speed. And obviously MotoGP would be the first time they ever go to Spa with these new changes, and I'm looking forward to seeing.
I don't think MotoGP are actually going to Spa with them car if they get sort of sideways.
Not this. I don't think it's this year, but they are looking to try and get to there. As Full Ayrton in the chat says, is it PC or PlayStation series? It is a PlayStation series for us at the minute. We're not running on PC yet, but we do plan to do so in the future. Whether that be in the short-term future or the long future, we just don't know just yet. So keep your eyes and ears on the Discord and Facebook page of when that may happen. But we do have a lot of excitement things coming your way. The end of this week, the midpoint next week. Oh, as Gary's just dropped the rear.
Gary dropped. Oh, man, that's beautiful to keep that out of.
That was elegant.
That was Sebastian Vettel-esque at Baku.
That was the skill of a two-time champ there, just showing what he can do. Yeah, an interesting week coming up as the final round of the British Touring Car Championship heads to Scotland as we head to Knock Hill. And Jamie, I bet you are excited, as Matt is, to commentate on that. The final round of the season, and we finally get to run Knock Hill.
Oh yeah, definitely. Knock Hill is a very good track. Matt goes up into 5th, and it's probably going to be gloves off between a lot of the drivers with a championship done for a lot of the drivers.
Yeah.
Practice is now finished.
Practice is now finished, and it is Gary 131 who leads the way. I think this has been a while since Gary led the practice session.
He'll have a nosebleed right now.
He will have a nosebleed, but this man here, Fury, will have to stay in the pits as he has to obey to the qualifying ban for race 1 after retiring at Zolder. But let's get your votes in on who you think is going to take pole position tonight, based on the qualifying, the practice session there. And obviously, we think that Overtaker was holding pace there. I think he was messing around with us. But who do you think is going to take pole position here, Jamie?
I think it's got to be Overtaker, unless he has some genuine problem. We'll go on board with him now, see whether he's got a problem. No, he doesn't have a problem. He's got 7.6 litres in the car compared to Gary's. Gary's got 19.3, so Overtaker is probably going to get one flying lap in. So he's got to make this count because it's a long lap with only 10 minutes. So if they start messing about, they could end up with half the session gone very quickly.
It is a very long lap here, probably the longest track we ever come to here at Simplay Motorsport in the GT3s. As Overtaker goes a little bit deep up into turn 4 there. I can never remember the name of turn 4. Turn 6 out of 7. Les Combs. La Source, Eau Rouge, Radion, then the Camel Straight, La Source, Brockwell?
So it's La Source, Eau Rouge, Radion, the Camel Straight, Les Combs. Let me get my phone up.
I think it's Bruckles.
Brussel's Speaker's Corner. Double Gash AB, and will be able to tell me whether I'm right or wrong. Don't know how to pronounce that. Campus Stavalo, up through to Blanchemont, and then to the bus stop chicane.
Well, turn 12 is actually Pouon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely a circuit that makes me poo for sure. But this track is definitely one of the more frightening circuits as well. Very, very long circuit. 2:19 is what these guys are producing. 20 corners here, according to the map that I'm looking at. They count the little kink on the Camel Straight as a straight for some, as a corner for some reason. As is turn 2 is apparently the little kink down the pit straight. So apparently they're corners. But
I was going to say that again. In Austria, they count the kink in the straight as turn 2.
As we get our votes in for the qualifying, at the minute Overtaker's got 60% of the votes, and Jamie, this is going to be interesting. He's backing a lot of drivers up, isn't he?
Yeah, he's backing Matt, that looks like Peaceful, and Miggs up.
Well, let's see.
They're all looking to get a tow.
Let's see if this man can put his money where his mouth is as Overtaker goes into turn 1. We're expecting a 2:16 from this man. He says he can do it. Let's see if he can. But I highly doubt it. With these conditions, a lot warmer here. Tends this game, especially with project cars. The summer isn't the best time to be setting blistering lap times. It tends to be August, September seems to be the happy window for all the cars. But he heads up towards Kemmel Straight and down towards Les Combes, and already he's got a decent start to this lap, Jamie.
He has got a decent start to this lap. He was just within but he's messed the lap up now, and as you can see, he's back from the pits. He's got to do an out lap. And there's already been 4 minutes gone off the session.
Well, let's go on board with Matt, because he's currently going through the rest of the circuit as he now heads towards the middle sector now. As this is all about being patient in this section as you head towards No Name as well, the left kink. It's very much, the car has to be happy, and this is where the Mercedes is going to be struggling. The chassis of the Audi and the Ferrari behind them will be much stronger, especially through this corner at Pouon. It's so difficult to keep this car on track because it's so easy to run wide, as Big's just done.
Yeah, it's very difficult to run wide. Coming out of Speaker's Corner though, the Audi should get brilliant traction off the corner. It's one of the corners that the Audi loves. But at the minute, I think Gary, who is first. No, there is a car in front.
Monkey Boy is in front of him.
There's a car in front of Monkey Boy, and that was
Emplava.
But Emplava's slowing down, so he's messed up his lap. But as you can see, no one's set a lap time yet, and half the session's gone. And
this will be their first flying laps here. As I'm going to try and get this to work, but currently, yeah. Oh, it's not working. I have my little app to tell me what lap times people are doing, and it's not wanting to show me at all.
Monkey Boy comes to the line. What's he going to do? 2:21. I can expect Gary.
Boom. That is
that
is already the Pro-Am record smash. Can any of them get near to the Pro? As Matt now matches him, 19 thousandths of a second between them.
Yeah. There's a group of 3 cars, one which I believe will involve, I think Overtaker is in this, yes, he's at the back, and it's Smoky Devil, Kelly and Overtaker, who are quite a way back as Smoky Devil runs right. And when we came to this track last season where you won your 3rd pro title, that corner there was an absolute killer for everyone.
Yeah, including myself and Andy, and it was horrid with rain and snow lingering around as well. And Jamie, I don't know if you remember, but the race that me and you racing in season 3, obviously we had rain towards the end of the race as well, and I took a brave, bold move. Being the first round of the season, I tried to stick it out with the slick tyre, and it went horrifically wrong. And I just kept losing place after place. Says Smokey crosses the line and sets a lap time and goes P4. KLF, what can he do? He goes P8, but he's a little bit of a warm-up lap, probably trying to get those hard tyres in the right window.
Yeah, he's only a few tenths of a second off Emplava, but Emplava and KLF are quite a way back off Monkey Boy. But yeah, back in season 3, I think I was running about fourth at the time. Jumped Gary, jumped Biggs, and jumped you in the pit stops. No, I was very confused as Overtaker, right on the limit, coming through Radion. For those of you who probably remember the memes of WTF1, that's Radion actually.
Yeah, as we head up towards the top of the hill, and Overtaker, it's really not been his lap at all. We're very, very squarely out of the hairpin, and so far this man is unable to produce what he said he can do. But Gary currently looking to try and find 19 thousandths of a second to go ahead of his teammates, but he comes towards the line. Dean was socking it with the window wipers going towards the line. He comes, and Gary, does he improve? Yes, he does. As Monkey Boy's dropped the rear, and he makes half a second. He's now matched, gone past, I think the lap record now with that lap time. Let me double check that. No, not quite. Not quite. 2:18.9 is the best. So Gary just needs to find 2/10, and he will be able to smash that. But Gary 131 back at his best, top of the tables, where he belongs, ex-champion himself. But Biggs here coming through the final sector now, current defending constructor champion.
Yeah, he had a bit of a fallout with Matt Zolder, but they put that behind him, and D Biggs at the minute is in third. He's only about 0.3 of a second off Matt. Can he improve? I think he must. Yeah, he's had a mistake that lap. So who have we got?
I believe we got the trio that are coming through. Smokey is into the pits. He's done. That's his qualifying session done. Overtaker, it will be the next car after KLF, as KLF comes towards the line now. And Overtaker not had another great lap because he's not been able to catch Kelly. And Kelly improves. Overtaker goes fastest of all with a 2:18.1. I said he didn't have a good one. He had a blistering one. There you go. That's the lap record completely smashed.
Yeah,
but that's
you ought to be eating your words now.
Well, technically, that's not a 2:16. I'm just saying.
No, it's not a 2:16, but I do remember you saying he's not had a good lap.
If he had a good lap, I would have thought he would have been right on the back of KLF, who's considering he's 4.6 off the best of Overtaker, and Kelly did improve as well.
And Overtaker is now into the pit, so Matt has got to try and find about 0.6 of a second to jump Gary. If not, Overtaker is going to have a car in between himself and Matt.
But it is Matt's teammate, and we know what Gary's like at race starts. He's ridiculously good for race starts. But Gary, 131, your two-time pro champ, is coming into the final corner now. Has he found a blistering second out of nowhere? No, because he's going to end up in the wall. That'll be his session done. Matt will get one more lap by the looks of things.
Yeah, Matt is going to get one more lap, and I think that is Lava behind. So Matt comes across the line. He finds 4/10. It's not enough though to jump Gary. There was a car in front which might have been Gary, to be fair. Lava just misses out. He crosses the line, doesn't improve. Monkey Boy doesn't improve either. They go to KLF is in the pit. So who will we have next? It will be D Biggs. So D Biggs,
has he improved his lap time? As he comes through the left-handed kink where Max Verstappen went right round the outside of Felipe Nasr, and towards the bus stop chicane we go. Biggs into the final chicane. Can he find 7/10? It's more like 8/10 to get past Matahimovic, his rival from Zolder. Towards the line he comes. D Biggs, can he improve on his lap time? He does, but doesn't get ahead of Matt.
Yeah, not enough. Now, Dan, could you tell me what year Verstappen made that overtake on NASA?
Yes. I'm going to guess 2015.
Yep, you are correct.
Yes, boy. 2016 is when he got switched from Catalonia into the Red Bull. And he did the whole season in Toro Rosso. And obviously he raced Spa in the Toro Rosso against Felipe Nasr, so 2015. Yeah. But yeah, Matt's got one shot at this, as is Peaceful, but I think, not Peaceful, Emprava as well. Oh, Emprava's done. So it is just Matt left to go. And we'll see when he comes through Sector 2, has he improved? And Everyone's just sitting and waiting to see what Matt can do here. It's like one-shot qualifying all over again when F1s used to go around just doing one at a time.
He's not up on his time at the minute, but he could gain a whole lot of time through here. It all depends how brave he's feeling on the brakes for the source.
Definitely so. And guys, if you haven't done so, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. The poll is now coming to an end. It is Overtaker who won the poll there with 11 votes, but Matt can still take this one as he comes towards the final chicane. Has he done enough here to take pole position, or at least a front row start? 3/10 is what he needed to find. Did he lose it all in the chicane? That is the question. Towards the line it comes. Matahimovic for Jaeger Motorsport. Has he found that time? We will find out in a moment's time. No, he did not.
He didn't find the time. So on pole position for the first time tonight is Overtaker. On the front row alongside him is Gary 131. On the second row, Matahimovic with D Biggs. That's definitely going to be fireworks into turn one. Behind is Peaceful Explosion with Emplava alongside him. Smoky Devil and Monkey Boy 7th and 8th. KLF 9th, and Fury not able to qualify in 10th. But the good thing for Fury is, with there only being 10 drivers, he's not that far off the back already, or not that far off the front already.
No, he is not, as just putting up a poll for race winner predictions. But Jamie, 10 cars here this evening, not as many as we would have hoped for, but there's rumours that Max Moldler could be possibly going up into the Pro after a fantastic debut, a couple of races in Pro-Am. He could possibly get
four race wins in a row in the Audi as well, so that's very, very good. And I think if he came into Pro, he'd give some of these guys a nightmare.
He definitely would. But we are here for round 11, coming up to the halfway point of the season. Prediction on who you think is going to take the first win here tonight, Jamie?
I'm going to say Matt for the race win.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say Fury from the back of the grid. He's going to keep himself out of trouble and try and get himself to the front of the grid. The pit window for these guys is the end of lap 3. It opens, and then the end of lap 10 it will close. So a pretty early pit stop, but a reminder, this circuit is 2:20 long, so it's a very, very long time to carry damage as well, and some of the Pro-Ams really struggled with it last night. But long window for opportunity to pits, and still, Jamie, if you get it all wrong through Eau Rouge and Radion, or even turn 1, it's a long, long way to get back to the pits.
It is definitely a long way back to the pits, definitely, and hope. So especially if someone sends it on turn 1 and wipes out half the field, then it is a long way back to go.
Let's rise as we head towards for round 11 here, and we're green here, and Matt jumped the start. That's got to be a drive through for Matt there. That's a clear jump of the grid there, and he will go into turn 1. Matahimovic has jumped the start here, and Overtaker nearly hits the back of him as we head towards Eau Rouge and Radion, and Fury just at the back there clearing Smoky already, but we are clear and away here, racing away as they all try and avoid the invisible wall as they head up towards Radion and Eau Rouge.
Yeah, Matt does indeed have a drive through.
As I'm pretty sure, Jamie's, you got the stream open, I bet, haven't you? But yeah, Overtaker's got the run here. He's probably not put any point really attacking Matt too heavily until Gary comes along, but he's going to try it anyway.
Yeah, he's going to try and go around the outside at Lake on. Matt just shown the inside, and Overtaker goes off the track. He's going to have to cede position. He's ceded more than that. So
a few cars off in the background though. D Biggs has dropped down the order, so I don't know if anything's happened there. K Left's had a moment as well, but D Biggs I think is in the wall. Fury has also been caught up in that, I think. No, Fury's managed to get away with it, but D Biggs has gone backwards here, and he's having a fight with Smoky Devil. But Overtaker caught out by Matthew's drive-through there possibly, but fought a little bit harder than he probably needed to.
Yeah, he didn't need to try and attack Matt there at all, knowing he had the drive-through, and he's gifted the net lead of this race to Gary 131, and if Gary is a very good defender, he is going to be attacking the back of that Lamborghini very, very shortly.
He will be indeed. Gary will want to be trying to stay ahead of Overtaker for as long as he possibly can, but Matt with a drive-through penalty that he will have to serve. this has really thrown away Matt's first race for sure. But Fury at the minute currently in 8th place position and is on his way to try and clear as many cars as he can, but he's already 6 seconds off the lead of this race. Obviously Matt leading this race, so he'll be coming into the pits promptly. But not the best way for Matt to start this night, and Jamie, you've already cursed him.
Yeah, I have already cursed him. But what Matt could do now is go right to the end of the pit window as Overtaker has a look down the inside. Gary stops and Matt comes into the pit. So, yeah, the best thing for Matt to do now would be to go, or to get, well, to even get his pit stop done out of the way and just crack on.
As Gary makes this one move to the inside and Overtaker looks to the outside. He tries to use the better grip and go around the outside, but he's got a bit too deep. Peaceful is right there though, ready to pounce when he needs to, and he's in the toe of that Lamborghini, so that will help the Ferrari out massively. And Bravo just in the background as well. He's trying to get onto the back of these guys as Overtaker really doesn't get the start of that corner right, and that's going to allow Peaceful to get right onto the back of him.
Yeah, but Peaceful caught him a bit too quickly there, but Peaceful's going to be in the slipstream. The Ferrari doesn't have the straight line speed in the Lamborghini. Overtaker's got Gary's slipstream. Peaceful breaks up a lot earlier than Overtaker. He also flips some of them bollards.
Or was it Overtaker was just so much more confidence on the brakes there, because he seemed to make quite a lot of time on Gary as well, up towards the end of the Camel straight. But at the minute, Peaceful with a very good start though. He needs this thing because he needs to build his confidence back up. And right now he's currently in 3rd place position. Overtaker still struggling to find a way through Gary, but Matt currently 16 seconds off the back, and he's not actually too far away after serving his drive through. Luckily he has a short pit lane here.
Yeah, it is a very short pit lane. But yeah, he could get it. The thing he's going to be looking at now is the man in 8th place, KLF. We know how tough KLF is to overtake. Surely Matt would rather pit at the end of the next lap and overtake Kelly in the pits, because that's the easier way to overtake Kelly.
The thing that Gary's got to think about here, right? Matt is obviously on a recovery drive right now, but Gary has got one thing over Overtaker. He's got the power advantage in that Mercedes. Overtaker's really got to hope that Gary makes a mistake, and if Gary keeps it clean and on track, Overtaker is really going to struggle to get past Gary. It took me near enough the whole of race 1 at Silverstone in season 3 to get past this guy. And then race 2, I got a little bit more lucky because I finally figured him out. But Overtaker, track limits there, and he goes a little bit wide. Gary, though, is holding on.
He had a wiggle there. Overtaker's going to have a look to the inside anyway, but he goes up the curb and managed to get it stopped.
He does manage to get stopped, and I believe Overtaker's a pad user as well, so it looks like a little bit of desperation already going into the chicane, and that's really just hurt him, if anything. And look who's catching in the background. M. Bravo was faster than the guys in front already. He is already starting to catch onto the back of Peaceful here, while Matt is now onto the back of Monkey Boy after serving his drive-through penalty. So Matt has really just hindered himself for race 1.
Yeah, he has indeed. I think Matt's going to be probably looking at a 3rd place right now, because he knows Overtaker. Well, we've seen Overtaker have a little mistake, but he's not going to make a major
I'm just looking at the times here. Overtaker is within 4/10 of Gary as they go through the straight, and he's just not gaining any more than that in the slipstream. Even though he was right with him through Eau Rouge and Radeon, he's just not there. So yeah, he really seemed to struggle there. And what I mean by pad user, Smithy, is that when you're going into making dives like that, I don't think you're able to make the adjustments that Smithy says, Undertaker, give me your settings. I think he's going through every pad user this season just to make sure he finds the right settings. Matt still hasn't managed to clear Monkey Boy very quickly.
No, he hasn't, as they come into the Lacombe chicane. What was there, 3 of Lacombe chicane. So Matt probably wasn't close enough down the straight as Monkey Boy opens the door for him, and Matt easy to like, thank you mama for the carrots, and he's up into 9th place. Another
thing to note here, Jamie, is that we are now coming towards the end of lap 3, so people can pit stop. Maybe Overtaker will come in and try and get the undercut on Gary, but a man to keep an eye on is in 5th place position. Fury now up 5th and has cleared most of the pack. He's now just got to get onto the back of Emprava and Peaceful here, but Gary is driving how he should. He's not really driving dangerously. He's in the right places as Overtaker gets a run there. But I think the Mercedes grunt will just hang in there.
He does get a run. Is he going to try to stack him around the outside, or is Gary just going to muscle him off. Overtaker thinks better of it, but he's still there. He's off the track. If he makes this move, he's made the move off the track. Gary comes across. Overtake.
Overtaker there.
Yeah, Gary keeps the position. Overtaker carries on. Is Peace going to pick? No. And Plava? No.
All these guys wanting to stay out. If I was Fury, I would come into the pits now, get your pit stop done and out the way. You've got clear air, clear traffic, and you're able to just push as hard as you can. But he's choosing to carry on, as is Smokey. D-Biggs is your first man into the pits.
Matt carries on as well. He's going to try and go for Kelly the long way. Wait. Overtaker still trying to get past that Mercedes. Gary being very good with his defence so far. Overtaker's got a very good run coming up. Coming down Camel Strip. He's going to go to the outside.
It's going to be a brave move around the outside here, but Gary with the straight line advantage here, I reckon, will just be able to hang on to the inside as they come up to the top of the hill. Gary holds his line. Overtaker makes contact with Gary there, and there was really nowhere for Overtaker to go there, really, because that door was always going to close, and he has spun Gary 1-3-1 round.
Yeah,
Overtaker.
No, he's not giving the position back either.
As D-Vic says in the chat, Fury's cutting corners, so if he's able to clip that, he will be able to penalise him for that. So it's down to the drivers to pick out track limits here. So not down to the stewards, because obviously we're not going to sit for hours and hours worth of content here to find out where people are cutting the track. But Overtaker giving Gary a little love tap and spinning him around.
Yeah, I think it was more than a love tap though. I think in all honesty, Overtaker should have just left that bit more room for Gary. That, because seeing as that was Gary's corner, it's always a tough move going around the outside of the Lake Com, and Gary had his car in front, so yeah, that'd be one for us to look at.
Yeah, definitely so, as Gary has actually lost the position due to that. They had a nice gap over Peaceful. He's now in the clutches of Peaceful because of that little tap, and we don't know if he's carrying damage. Just there we see Smokey's off. Fury's lost a place. Oh no, sorry, not Fury. But KLF is now defending from Matimovic. Is he just going to let him through as as Kelly goes wide there, very wide?
Yeah, he does. He's electric. So Matt has now got to try and catch up to Fury. Fury braking coming through Blanchimont.
Yeah, something about this car isn't right, and every driver I'm watching cuts corners as well, but they're not actually, to be honest, mate. They are sticking within track limits. The track limits is 2 wheels on the curb, and Fury is into the bits. It looks like he just clipped the wall ever so slightly there.
Yeah, he might well have done. Now, Peaceful is now going to come under some serious pressure from Empoir for 3rd place, and that Mercedes is going to be very quick down the Kemmel Straight. Empoir's a little bit track limits there. Peace is going to have Gary's slipstream.
He is going to have Gary's slipstream, but the thing that Peace has got to worry about is the man behind him, Emplava, in that Mercedes. Once he gets in that tail, I reckon Emplava will be a serious threat for Peaceful towards the end of this lap. Overtaker, not the best run through that sector there, as Gary seems to find a little bit more time on him. But we've learned that Overtaker can make mistakes. He has done in the previous... But we'll just keep an eye on Overtaker, because mistakes can happen with him.
Oh yeah, everyone's human. They can make mistakes. Matt now up into P5 already. So what's happened to? Oh no, Fury pitted.
Fury has pitted.
So Matt is trying to go long here. He's got a long way to catch up to Emplava. He's got around 13 seconds to catch up to Emplava.
The problem that Matt has now is the drivers in front of him are lapping similar to what he's lapping, so he has to really hope for something to happen to these guys for it to really benefit him. So he's really just got to hope and pray now that something happens, and obviously because 10 drivers started, the top 5 will not be able to qualify. So at the minute, Overtaker, Gary, Peaceful, Emplava and Matt, crucially Matt, will not be able to qualify. So KLF, Smokey, Monkey Boy, Fury and Biggs will all be able to qualify.
Yeah, but say D-Biggs and Fury have pitted. Fury, we should imagine that he'll come out in front of Matt unless he makes a mistake that he can run run wide through there, possibly trying a bit too hard to close onto the back of the Ferrari. There's massive wiggle.
Yeah, definitely so. As Smithy says in the chat, Emplava doing very well after a Pro-Am, but Emplava and Peaceful both coming into the pits to serve their pit stops, and that's their names striked out in the thing for me here. And Monkey
Boys, yeah, Monkey Boys.
Was that a reset?
That might well have been.
What lap is that? Lap 5, and we might have to check that Monkey Boy has done a reset there, because
that into the pits as well. So whereabouts is Fury? Fury is coming through the source. So Fury's gone wide.
Fury went very wide there. Very easy to do so going into the bus stop chicane, but Matt's already gone. But Peaceful and Emplava are always already out the pit exit there, and a little bit behind.
Close between Matt and Fury, because Matt kind of cuts half the track.
Fury's gone, I think. Yeah, Fury's down the road.
Matt has jumped D big, so.
Yeah, he has jumped big. He hasn't jumped Fury though, and Fury will stay in front of him as Monkey Boy is into the pits. Meanwhile, Emplava and Peaceful are very close to one another, as is Smokey and KLF, as these two still yet to pit at this minute. But they still overtake a lead in this race from Gary 131 in second, KLF in third, and Smokey currently fourth. Fifth is Emplava, the first of your pitters right now. Oh, Peaceful's round.
That gives Matt another close. So Peaceful has chucked his podium chance away.
And it looks like a classic Peaceful mistake. He does a Peaceful pirouette at the top of a Camel Straight, and he's got a lot of recovering to do now. He was in a very good position, possibly racing hard with Emplava, but Peaceful on a recovery drive now. Smokey still just on the back of KLF, as Overtaker currently out in front, pumping in the 219s and extending that gap from Gary.
Yeah, he was about a second a lap faster than Gary last lap, and Gary was the second quickest last time around. Granted that some of the other guys did hit.
Yeah, definitely so. As we just coming towards the midpoint of this race, and it is still Overtaker leading the way after a coming together with Gary 131, and Gary has now opted to pit. He is in. And another thing that we discovered last night as well, Jamie, even the hard tyres, a lot of the drivers were really suffering as Kelly goes very wide through that section there. A lot of the drivers were struggling on the hard tyres. They were dying out for him.
Yeah, say with the Mercedes, we know it does kill its tyres it does go through its tyres a lot quicker than, for example, the Audi and probably the Porsche, just because of their chassis.
It's a question here. Gary just manages to clear these two, so he ain't going to get held up by them. So that's a good stop there for Gary. He gets away, and he's got a very big gap over Emplava now, so he hasn't got to worry about threat from behind. But at the minute, your man who still haven't pitted yet is Overtaker, KLF and Smokey. All three of them are still yet to pit here, and Overtaker has a 27.0 second gap over Gary 131 at the minute, and really trying to push that gap as much as he possibly can.
Yeah, just trying to push the car as far wide as possible. Now Smokey Devil is getting closer and closer to the back of that Lamborghini.
He is getting closer here, and I think what Smokey would have to do now is, if he's getting held up by Kelly and he can't get past him before the pit lane, he has to do the opposite of whatever Kelly does, I reckon. If Kelly stays out, he goes in. If Kelly goes in, he stays out. So he's got more pace. You can just see that Mercedes are a lot happy as they come down to Pouon. He reckons he's got to run down the inside. The Scott's going to attack the Cornish driver, KLF, and he goes down the inside and gets the job done through Pouon. A beautiful move there done by Smokey Devil, but is KLF going to come back on the exit of Pouon? No, Kelly's going to have to conceive and just wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot Kelly could do there, but Kelly's going to go a bit later on the brakes. Not much he can do through there, and he goes down into fourth place. And Emplava is about 3 seconds behind with Fury, 4 seconds behind as Overtaker comes into the pits. We should see him come out in the lead of the race.
Yeah, quite comfortably in the lead of the race. Let's see how quick his pit stop's going to be, though, as we also noticed that Max last night did change tyres. Overtaker has no interest of changing tyres whatsoever, and away he goes, probably on the hard tyre, and should easily stay ahead of Smokey and KLF. Gary, though, has dropped it. Gary's made a mistake. Where is Gary? There he is. He was ahead of KLF and Smokey. He's dropped it. And Plava now is in second place position on the road.
He is.
Not on the road, I mean. And Smokey.
And Plava is in the net. Is in the net second place. Smokey comes into the pits. So as Kelly carries on, like you said, he's doing the complete opposite to Kelly. And Matt is not far off the back of Fury, and Matt a bit slower than Fury last lap. So they're trying to latch onto the back of Gary, who can hopefully take him to Plava.
That is the hope here for Matt. He's trying to catch on to the back of Fury, but Fury just seems to be lapping a lot quicker than Matt at the stage. And Fury, already been said about track limits already. Is he taking too many track limits? That is the question. And it'll be down to, again, the drivers to send in the footage of what they think they've been doing on track. But Overtaker with a very comfortable pit stop and a very comfortable race lead, 11.5 seconds ahead of KLF, 15 seconds ahead of Plava. And Plava, keeping his nose clean and staying consistent, has managed to get himself currently in a net second place position, with still Kelly the only car yet to pit. As the car is off, Peaceful is going to be catching on to the back of D-Biggs, but he managed to get going. I'm starting to have, I just remembered I just see Peaceful go off as well. I'm starting to have a little bit of nightmares here, Jamie, because season 1, when I first joined, was actually here at Spa in my Falcon Porsche, and I don't know if you remember, but in that corner we've just gone past, I believe a Hot Wheels white Audi hit the rear of me, and we ended up being teammates for 4 seasons.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember that. The season 1 Spa, I've tried to erase some of my memory, though.
To be fair, same here.
After leading both races in Pro-Am and disconnecting from both of them.
Yeah, not our best rounds, that one for sure. But Overtaker now extending that gap massively in front. He looks like he has got this race well under control. Monkey Boy having another issue as well. He is currently right at the back, probably halfway around the track, while the rest of them are at the other end of the circuit. So Monkey Boy just go around to score some decent points. And Fury now is onto the back of Gary 131. And already Overtaker struggled to get past Fury, as Kelly is now finally into the pit. So that's everybody done their pit windows. And Fury's going to be having a tough time here trying to find their way past Gary.
Yeah, because Gary's job is going to be to get the grip. Oh! Fury gives him a little bump up the rim. So Fury now waits for him.
Yeah, Fury doing the right thing there and just waiting for Gary to get back on track. Gives him a little flash, possibly to say thank you or just to be annoyed. But Gary does keep the position after Fury just misses his braking and hit in the rear.
Yeah, but this has brought Matt to within about 2.5 seconds of them. And say Gary's job into
Kelly speeded in the pit lane. He's got a penalty. So that's going to help Peaceful out, as Peaceful has got ahead of him. But if anything happens to Peaceful now, as Fury goes down the inside, and Gary's going to stick it out on the outside though.
Look at that, they give each other the room through there.
And Fury comes on through, Fury around the outside. Gary just went a bit too deep up into Lake Com there, and he just opened the opportunity for Fury to just go around the outside and get the positioning for the inside for the next part of that corner, as Peaceful's had another moment here and is behind KLF, and he looks like he's got damage to the front of that car.
Teddy came up right behind Peaceful, and he's got his slipstream down the Camel Straight and done him. So that puts Kelly up into 8th place on the road, but what kind of time penalty does he have? It's only 10 seconds, so if Peaceful drops it, Kelly from his mistake of last time, but no way through for the Ferrari.
No way through for the Ferrari indeed. And as I don't know if they're struggling to hear us on the chat, but I've just changed the voice level, so hopefully you should be able to hear us over the cars instead. But Kelly, under a little bit of pressure here from Peaceful Explosion, Mike really wanting to try and find a way past that Lamborghini. It's an Italian fighting duel between the Italian Bull and the horse of the Ferrari chasing him down. But so far, Peaceful's not had the best of race. It looked very promising at the start. It's just gone downhill ever so slightly from the earlier on.
Yeah, Matt is now around a second from his teammate. I reckon his teammate is going to make this fairly straightforward for him. There is going to be the call from Matt to Gary that Matt is hearing Gary. Matt is faster than you. Do you understand the message?
Not at this minute. It's at the minute Gary is still wanting to try and get past Fury here, because they are actually fighting for a podium position here. We said that Fury might be able to come back as Gary goes very wide at the top of Radion there, and Matt is on his way to try and chase him down. Is it going to be if you can't get him in the next couple of laps, gonna time to switch it up and let Matt have a go?
Yeah, Peaceful's now come back into the pits, so this is definitely going to give Kelly 8th place, and Monkey Boy is coming.
Oh!
Is in the wall.
Monkey Boy once again just struggling to get the points that he needed. I don't know if that's helped anybody hear us in the chat a bit better. Obviously, we switching the volume around, but Overtaker has got a massive lead now. He's lapping near enough 2.5 seconds in front, as Laura in the chat saying, "Come on, Smokey Devil." Smokey just trying to catch on to the back of D Biggs. Overtaker makes a mistake.
Yeah, Overtaker was in the gravel there. I was then about to say Overtaker can get the Sunday paper out, put the slippers on, and put his feet up and go to sleep.
Jamie, is he going to do an Ayrton Senna here? Is he just going to push that too hard and then end up making a mistake and putting it in a wall and giving himself major damage here? It's been done before, but Overtaker now is going to be the only person who can stop him is himself.
So the only person who can stop him is himself, or so he's put enough fuel in, and Matt has indeed got past Gary. So it looks like Gary.
I think these two have had an issue or something, because they've lost loads of time to Fury here. Gary's got damage.
Yeah, I think Gary already had that damage. So have the pair of them.
I think they've had an incident somewhere. I'm not sure what, but Gary and Matt have lost. They were right on the back of Fury. They've lost 10 seconds to Fury now. I think there's something happened. Let's have a look at Matt's car. Has he got damage at all? His car looks fairly... Oh, he's got damage on the side.
He's got a little bit of damage on the rear. As Fury has caught Emplava.
He has caught Emplava, and Emplava is about to be coming under pressure from Fury CBK. Can Fury get himself into second place position? I think he'll be happy with that, considering he started from the back of the grid. How much track limits is he taking up? Radion Arnaud Rouge, he is just within the limits there. Nicely done there from Fury, but he is hunting Emplava down. One of our two youngest drivers, and Jamie, someone I found out last night as well. These two are one of our youngest, but one of our eldest is actually running in the Pro-Am, and that is a JM Grill. And I found out last night that the guy is 71 years of age.
Wow, really?
71, yeah, honestly.
Hey, that's good. Good from JM Grill then.
It could be my headset on announcer is good. The other is just a bit quiet for me. Again, I can possibly change that once the action. I'll change that for race 2, but at the minute I think everyone can just about hear Jamie anyway. But at this stage, Fury now looking to try and make a way past Emplava as he possibly can. But Emplava's gone wide at Puon, but so has Fury.
Last week, it's the same car. He's trying to overtake. I think half the grid of Mercedes, so they all have the same trouble. That the Mercedes is that if it's a Mercedes attacking a Mercedes, they're quicker in the same place. But Fury's got up the inside. Can Emplava hold it around the outside? No, Fury is up into second place.
Easy as you like. Thank you, Mama, for the carrots, as Matt was saying. And yes, I've actually just said that line. I hate saying it, but I've done a matomism there. But we'll end the poll there, and everyone thinks that at the minute, Overtaker will take the race win. And at the minute, it's looking very, very good for himself. But the two of the youngest drivers, Matt's had a moment.
Matt's dropped it because he's dropped behind Gary and D-Big. So Matt's now down into 6th, which means he won't be able to qualify. And Smokey's on the back. Matt could be relegated to 7th. Smokey's gone on grass. He's gone around the outside. Matt. Oh, yeah.
Very close there between the two Mercedes drivers, and I'm sick and tired of seeing these Mercedes cars. It's a bit like running the touring cars. Everyone seems to run them again, and everyone here in the Pro just seems to run the Mercedes car. Oh, as Monkey Boy's dropped it.
Yeah, Monkey Boy drops it. Matt doing very well to avoid him. What's D-Biggs up to? D-Biggs is sniffing the back of Gary's Mercedes. He's gone.
I was just going to say, D-Biggs has always done well at Spa. He's never really had a bad run, other than last season when he wasn't really prepared for the rain and snow. As Gary goes very wide, as does Biggs there. Biggs just out of track limits there, but both of them running wide. And they're all coming up to the top of the Camel Straight. But the Audi probably hasn't got the grunt on the other Mercedes, as Matt has got back past ahead of Smokey.
Smokey
didn't lose it.
No,
yeah, sorry.
Smokey never got past. D-Biggs had a look down the inside, but Gary was just better on the brakes now. Smokey should be better. D-Biggs should be better through this section of the track than the Mercedes. He's just got to try and get the traction out of the corner. The best place for him to have a look is to get
Jamie, Plava is back ahead of Fury. That's something else we've missed. Has Fury made a mistake, or has he got damage somewhere?
Fury looked very slow there, so I wonder whether he's run it onto the grass coming through Speaker's corner.
Who knows, as we need to go back to Biggs and Gary. They are getting very close, as Biggs just drops it! Oh, very brown pants moment there for Biggs. He might have to change his trousers after this race, because he nearly ended up in the inside of the wall. A poo on there. He nearly had a poo coming out of him.
Yeah, he did. Matt is now only 4.4 behind, so a lot of these are all made. So Fury, D-Biggs and Matt all making a mistake within a lap of each other.
They are indeed. Are these tyres now starting to go off? If they've run the soft tyre, they're going to be burning up. And if they're running the hards, have they still got the grip to make it to the end? But one man who has not had any issues so far, he starts lap 13 here, is Overtaker. He heads up to the top of Radion. He has a 30-second gap over Plava, who is back under pressure once again from Fury. 6/10 separating these two.
Yeah, Fury's wanting that second place back. He's wanting to gain some points on that. Say we losing some points to Overtaker. Matt will be losing quite a lot to Overtaker, finishing down in 6th. But the good thing from that is he can qualify for race 2, and if he sticks it on pole position, he could be gone up the road.
Oh, Fury taking a lot of curb there, and he does what I did in race 1 last season in the McLaren. He spins the top of Radion and he gets away with it. A beautiful 360, and Fury manages to avoid hitting the wall. So Fury, another brown pants moment here for another driver, but that should help Plava secure 2nd place position now. Yeah,
Fury needs there needs to be a clean laundry built inside that car, because that car's going to be very messy after that. After that moment.
Definitely so, but it is Overtaker who's currently going through Sector 2 right now. D-Big still trying to put pressure on Gary, but I think his onslaught is coming to an end. Just seems to be struggling with understeer ever so slightly, and I think Matt must be carrying damage or something on that car, because Smokey Devil is breathing down his neck. And with that damage to the side of the car, possibly suspension. KLF just in the background as well. Kelly's been lapping relatively well at the minute. So he's lapping better than Peaceful. He's with the pace at the minute of the general pack. So Kelly, if you hadn't had that time penalty, he really would have been in a great position right now.
Kelly did the exact same lap time last time around as Smokey Devil, to the 1000th.
This is how Kelly obviously just well, if everybody pretty much know that Kelly is my father, and obviously last week we were discussing about the Lamborghini, how can we improve it for his driving style. Me and him drive very differently. I'm more of an aggressive driver and like the rear end to be a bit more slidey, while he likes a more stable car, and he's really spent a bit more time just finding the car in a more stable position. He will be able to qualify, but he's basically doing what Bryn has been doing this season, is setting up the car to be stable, not very fast, but stable, so he's on track and consistent. But obviously when you're in the Pro, Jamie, you really do have to up your game in the Pro.
Oh yeah, you do indeed.
Is that a car off? That's Fury, I think.
Fury has lost. Yeah, Fury's lost even more time. He's 3 seconds now in front of Gary. But Gary has still got D-Bigs all over the back of him.
And
Matt's
also carrying damage. Smoky Devil still trying to hunt the back of Matt here. Welshman versus Scotsman here. And I think Smoky would like to get past Matt right here. But Overtaker, ever since the start of this race, other than that one little blip behind Gary and Matt, obviously Matt jumping the race start there, he's really looked nowhere else but forward, because no one's really been able to challenge him here. 18.6 is his last lap.
Yeah, he's just been in a different world, really. He's apart from the incident with Gary, which was unfortunate. He hasn't looked back since. He's just been pumping in the lap times and built a gap of over 30 seconds whilst the pack squabble behind and make mistakes. And he's gonna, and say with Matt down in 6th, he's going to open that championship lead up massively.
There is going to be circuits though that this car will struggle, aka Daytona, where the Mercedes is always mighty. So Overtaker really trying to score as many points as he possibly can over Matt, and we don't know what he's going to be like at circuits like Oschersleben on the grid, as many people haven't raced there, but he is coming into the final chicane now. Overtaker delivers an outstanding run here at Simplay Motorsport, round 11 of the Pro Championship here at Spa, and he comes home to win another race here. Overtaker with a flash of lights wins round 11 as we go back to M. Plava, the Latvian. It's a long way back, but he has done a fantastic job here tonight, kept his nose clean, and has done a fantastic run here. M. Plava, beautiful drive from him so far, Jamie.
Oh, yeah, it's been a beautiful drive. He's withstood the pressure from Fury. Fury got through once, and then Fury's made the mistake, and Emperor has just been able to run on free for second place. He comes around the final corner, and this is a well-deserved podium for Emperor. He had a tricky start to the season. He's now bagged himself a second place.
Possibly best of the rest here, because Overtaker really did nail this race. As Fury comes around the final corner from last on the grid, he will come home and finish on the podium. So Fury will be happy with that, and he will outscore Matt as well. As Forzy in the chat saying, hey guys, but look at this, D-Biggs a run to the line, but Gary's just going to hang on for 4th place position with Biggs in 5th. And also Smokey right on the rear of Matt, but Matt will hang on to that 6th place position, and Smokey in 7th, with KLF bringing up 8th place. And then it's just the two at Simplay Racing Ferraris, Peaceful and Monkey Boy bringing up the rear. Top 5 can't qualify, so Overtaker, Emprava, Fury, Gary and D-Biggs all can't qualify. So Matt is going to be looking favoured, probably take pole position here. But Jamie, what a first race we've just had, and it's really been all about Overtaker. He's absolutely annihilated this first race.
He has. He's absolutely smashed it. We haven't seen much of him in that race because he just disappeared up the road. He was in race 2.
And a reminder to all the drivers as well, if you do want to put an inquiry in, make sure you video clip, or if you have a stream, make sure you just clip a part of the stream, either by phone or a message, or however you want, a YouTube link. Send it to myself either on Facebook, on the Discord, and I will obviously pass it on to the stewards on Orthodub 16 or Dan Davis on Facebook. But as Peaceful comes towards line, he'll finish in 9th place position. Monkey Boy just off the rear as well. Regarding track limits as well, it's down to the drivers to catch them out. And if Biggs feels like that Fury's been taking too much track limits, he'll have to try and screenshot where he has done so. But Jamie, race 1 relatively clean, just mistakes by themselves. Oh, Monkey Joy just drops it on the end there.
Yeah, I think he's just caught himself on the curb, but he'll get across the line. It's not been a good race for either of the two Ferraris.
I feel their pain, I really do, because that Ferrari for me season 2 was horrendous, but it is over.
41 seconds at the end.
41 seconds. Overtaker really annihilating the rest of the pack there. He is your race winner with Emprava in 2nd, Fury in 3rd. Gary will finish in 4th. 5th is D-Biggs. 6th is Matimovic. 7th is Smoky Devil. 8th is KLF. 9th is Peaceful. And 10th is Monkey Boy. Fastest lap, obviously, going to Overtaker with a 2:18.6. Make sure you join us in a moment's time, as we will get race 2 underway very shortly, and we will hear from the top 3 as well. Top 5 can't qualify. Biggs upwards will not be able to qualify for race 2. Can Matt put it on pole position and redeem himself in the next race? We'll be back in a moment's time as we have race 2 underway.
I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been counting down the days to get out. I've been looking for a way from this town. And you're too far away to help me now. So I'm counting down the days to get out. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. I've been staring at the sun in my eyes. I've been keeping on the run every night. But you're too far away to see the signs. So I'm staring at the sun till I'm dry. 'Cause I need to learn to forget everything that drags me down. I need to forget everything inside me now. Full speed ahead, fly from the end. So I'm full speed.
Known as I can't talk now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for round 12 here at Simplay Motorsport for the pros, and Overtaker with an absolutely demanding race one there, completely annihilating the group there. But we do have the top three with us right now, and we'll start with the man who started right at the back of the grid, Fury. Obviously carrying a qualifying ban due to Zolder and retiring from Zolder, but from starting last and recovering back to a podium, you got to say that's a good start to the night so far.
Yeah, I can't really complain. Obviously, the car felt pretty alright at the start of the race. After pitting, it just didn't feel right. Tried to pursue, obviously with the qualifying ban, it was a bit difficult getting through the pack, but obviously managed to get us through a lot of the pack, and there was a few bumps with people, but managed to keep it going and come home for third.
Yeah, and obviously you just told us in the chat as well, don't run the softs. It's obviously towards the end of that race, was it that was killing you at the end? Obviously Empire with a demand, well, at the point there, it was only half a second between you two, and then as soon as you caught him, it seemed like your soft tyres just died then.
It was, I tried to keep the downforce on the rear low to keep the softs somewhat grippy, not put them under too much stress, but obviously the Mercedes out the corners and the hot weather, it just made them get shot anyway. So yeah, getting into the dirty air didn't help it at all, and when I managed to get past him, it just kind of stayed the same and was no grip on the rear.
Also, still in this championship fight, obviously no Andy no more. He's now pulled out of the championship, so obviously outscoring Matt in that race, but obviously Overtaker just so strong here at Spa. The best you could do was third. But good points on Matt, and you're going to be starting at the front end of the grid. What can you do from there in this race too? Obviously you already done a race from the back of the grid. Surely you can just try and do the same again.
Yeah, lesson learned, don't use the softs. Can only just try and get a decent start, no mistakes or minimal mistakes, and just try and win the races or get another podium. Keep gaining the points.
Well, best of luck for race 2, mate, and let's make sure those hard tyres are on this time.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
As we now move on to your second place man, one of the other younger drivers here at Simplay Motorsport, Emplava, Latvian. Well done, Emplava. Very, very good race from yourself. You finished second, best you could do, best of the Mercedes drivers, and quite an uneventful race for yourself. Not really a lot going on. You just managed to keep your nose clean and stay out of trouble.
Yeah, no, I didn't see much on the track while driving, but I had to fight my car sometimes, so wasn't that easy. But yeah, managed to stay out of trouble during the race, and it paid off.
Obviously, Fury saying there that he put the soft tyre on. Were you running the softs at all, or was it more hard tyre for yourself?
No, it was hard for me, but yeah, I thought they went off a bit at the end, but so yeah.
Obviously, I think this is your best result in the Pro so far, so obviously that's going to give you a lot of confidence going into this final race. And like I said, the highest Mercedes in that race as well, with the likes of Matt and Gary in the Mercedes as well. You've got to be happy with that, especially beating your rival from last season.
Yeah, no, before in the practice lobby, Matt said, do I like his rear of the car? And you know, this race he was looking at me, so that feels good.
Matt has
yeah, you know.
Matt had a massive moment through that sector there. Sorry, Emplave, just had a moment in qualifying where he's just dropped the rear and gone round. But obviously you're going to be starting at the back of this race. You're going to be starting last. What can you do from there?
Now, Fury could get up to third. Maybe I'm not that quick on pure pace, but if the guys in front have messy starts and collisions, then I think I can get up the grid pretty far.
Well, you started mid-pack last race and you managed to keep your nose clean and get onto the podium, so we'll wish you the best of luck for race 2, mate.
Yeah, thanks.
As we move on to your race winner here, and it is Overtaker. He promised that he was going to be quick at Spa, and he delivered here. And Overtaker, not quite the 216 you promised, but nonetheless a very, very dominant race from yourself, other than being held up by Gary at the start.
Yes, I botched the qualifying. I didn't have the grip on the rear of the car, so didn't quite match the 216, but 218 was enough for pole position. And then Madge jumped the start, which threw me off quite a bit. I didn't know if this was strategic, but then I was thinking this was obviously a mistake. If they were playing some games, so Gary would jump the start. But anyway, yeah, I was held by Gary. Dirty there is quite difficult around here to follow cars and overtake, but once I got past him, it was smooth sailing.
Yeah, it seemed you got held up by Gary by quite a bit. It just seems like the Mercedes had the grunt on you, as I think Monkey Boy's been in the invisible wall there by the looks of things. But you seem to struggle on the straights against the Mercedes. But when you're in the middle sector and towards the final end of the sector as well, you seemed a lot more stronger than the Mercedes, especially in the Lamborghini. Was the chassis helping you in that section?
Yeah, of course. You can see with other drivers, Lamborghini is super fast on the high-speed corners with the high downforce setup. So if I'm in clear air, I can run very fast. But we'll see. This time I've got a lot of overtaking to do, so we'll see.
A lot of overtaking to do in this one. Your name is the Overtaker. Can you get through the pack and get another race win?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Well, best of luck for race 2, buddy.
Thanks.
As 3 relatively happy drivers there. Fury sounds a little bit downbeat there, Jamie, but nonetheless a very happy grid there as they go into this next race. And by the looks of things, Matt, Monkey Boy and Peaceful, all these guys just seem to be struggling here. Smokey sets the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Matt seems to be struggling on his opening flying lap. Monkey Boy's been Monkey Boy's car looks like it's attracted to the invisible wall, and yeah, so Smoky Devil and Peaceful at the minute. One setting the pace. Peaceful a bit quicker, but he runs he runs very wide, so much so that he might be in a different country.
He might be heading back to Zolder, he's that wide. But we'll look at the current championship standings as it stands. Overtaker leads the way. He has 235 points to his name, and he's 59 ahead of Matimovic in second. Fury is now up into third place, ahead of Andy, but he is catching onto the back of Matt ever so slowly. D-Big's currently in fifth place position, trying to catch Andy, and ahead of Emo Guy. Emplava jumps himself well up the order and puts him 7th with that P2 position. 8th is Peaceful Explosion, and 9th is Gary 131. 10th is Mazda, dropping down the order, obviously not able to make it here tonight. KLF jumps ahead of his teammate, who ends up in the wall there, by the looks of things.
Yeah, Kelly jumps his teammate and jumps into the wall as well.
and jumps into that wall. I think he's hit the same wall that I did in my Porsche 911 in season 3. So like son like father, if that's the right way around.
Like father, like son.
No. I think it's the other way, because the son done it the other way, so son then father. So that's why I'm trying to go with that. But Sutty currently in 12th place position, with Smoky Devil in 13th, Argent in 14th, and Monkey Boy still in 15th place position. Silas of the Lambos extend their championship lead, but not by much, obviously, with no Emo Guy and Matt and Gary scoring points. So Overtaker scores a little bit here, with Teletubby Racing not too far behind them in 3rd place. Smoking Hot Racing move up to P4, and Pushing Limits Racing down in 5th, with Audio Sport Prolapse in 6th, and Simplay Racing now jump ahead of Slingshot, who've dropped down to the bottom of the order. And race 2, Jamie, what can we expect from this one? Matt setting the pace with a 2:19.7, Smokey in 2nd, a peaceful 3rd, KLF 4th, and obviously Monkey Boy still yet to set a lap time. This should be an interesting final race of the night.
Yeah, it should be. Smokey Devil shouldn't improve on this time. He's 14 seconds off the pace at the minute, so first across the line will be peaceful. He might get another run in. He runs wide there. Matt will get a bit of a nice slipstream as they come up towards Blanchemont. Or as Peaceful dips a wheel in the gravel.
He does indeed. Peaceful trying to find every single bit of time he possibly can to get ahead of Smoky Devil, but at this minute he's just running out of time here as they're coming to the end of their laps here, and a vote is going out on who you think is going to take your second race win tonight. And obviously there will be a vote for driver of the day later on this evening. And if you like what you see here at Simplay Motorsport, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and head over to our Discord and Facebook page. Oh, as Matt nearly ruins Peaceful's lap there as he comes into the bus stop chicane. These guys won't be able to set another lap time, so everyone is on their final laps. KLF is done for the session. Peaceful towards the line, didn't improve. He lifted towards the end. It's now down to Smoky Devil. Can he find that 1.1 second? Make sure you tune in on Tuesday night as well, as the final round of the British Touring Car Championships is on their way. Heading to Scotland for Knockhill, the Scottish Showdown. No Scottish drivers going against another Scottish driver. There are 2 Scottish drivers though, of father and son, and Smoky Devil as well. Those 3 will be competing on home soil at Knockhill, and it'd be nice to see a Knockhill finally on the grid. And also make sure you tune in next week as we then head to a brand new circuit for the GT3s, and what a circuit we are going to. We call it Thruxton, but Jamie, we head to Silverstone Classic next. That is going to be a sketchy round.
Yeah, that was a very fast pace. Very fast paced round indeed. If anyone wants to drive it first and have a little taste of it, I recommend drive it in a Clio. That's probably the best car to drive it in.
Or a Ginetta Junior, anything that's very slow, just to get an idea. But the curbs are lethal. The cars will not be starting how they usually would. There'll be 2 lined side by side and then staggered across. So it's going to be an interesting round. Smoky Devil comes to the line. Does he find that 1.1 that he needs towards the line? He doesn't improve, I don't think. He does improve, but not enough.
Not enough. So it is Matt on pole position for race 2. Smoky Devil in 2nd. Peaceful Explosion in 3rd. Monkey Boy in 4th. KLF 5th. Fury in 6th as the first of the non-qualifiers. Overtaker 7th. Gary 8th. D-Biggs 9th. And Empire at the back of the grid.
That is Empire at the back of the grid. Their votes are out on who you think is going to take the second race win here. We've had a beautiful day here at Spa, Jamie. We're in a little bit of a heat wave, not just here in the UK, but I think most of Europe as well. But here at Spa, we've got beautiful sunshines, no rain to red flag us, and prediction on who you think is going to take the race win on this one. As D-Big says in the chat, go to miss next week as I'm off to Goodwood. I hope he has a nice time at Goodwood, but I'm pretty sure he'll be a little bit thankful, but he's not going to be in the chaos of Silverstone Classic.
Yeah, definitely. I think as well there's a new championship starting next weekend.
There is a new championship next weekend, as myself and Jamie will be back on track against one another as rivals. Yeah. As
you'll have to wait until round 2 for that, because I'm at British GT next weekend.
A lot of people are away next weekend. I believe Kelly is also at Goodwood as well, so a lot of drivers away. F2 will start next week as we head to Bahrain for the first round of the championship. F1 is done as we have a shorter season for F2, and also ACC Championship GT3 League a shorter season. I think it's only like 6 rounds. It's going to be organised here. So tune in for that. And if you want to sign up, then head over to the Facebook page and also the Discord page as well, as I still think there's seats for F2 and ACC. So get yourselves involved in that. The touring cars are coming to an end, but I'm pretty sure, Jamie, the touring cars will be back, as the drivers thoroughly enjoyed it and they are begging for it to come back.
I think more than the drivers thoroughly enjoyed it. I think everyone watching enjoyed it. Definitely me and Matt enjoyed commentating on it as we're getting ready, as we're getting synced up.
As we are getting synced up here, lights come on, res rise. We're at the halfway stage here. And we are green for round 12 here, and Matt's on pole. But both of the Ferraris get a lightning start, and both of the Mercedes have to react. But all Peaceful and Smokey come together there. Overtaker has got a lot of work to do as they head towards turn 1. But it's Monkey Boy around the outside of Matt. Is he brave enough to send it up to Eau Rouge and Radion? No, because Matt has already got the grunt as we now head towards the dreaded corner here with multiple cars here all going at it. But they're all trying to get themselves into order here. Oh, Overtaker gets close to the imaginary wall there.
Yeah. Or D-Biggs is running wide there. He's going to be compromised coming up. But Matt is trying to get away. But Fury is on the attack already. He's up into second place and going after Matt Hemovic. As Peaceful looking to the outside of his teammate. Peaceful's been mugged because he was been mugged at the start. Oh, I think the teammates have collided. They've put Peaceful has pushed his teammate.
Oh, Gary's gone round. Everyone managing to avoid Gary there and no contact made. But both Ferraris have really hindered themselves here and are getting mugged left, right and centre. I was going to say Smokey was the biggest loser, but Fury now right on the back of Matt Imovic here. Is Fury on those hard tyres, and have they fired up beautifully? KLF though is up into 4th place position after a good start, and Overtaker is right on the back of him. Biggs going wide as Peaceful's dropping the rear, but he managed to keep it going. And Brava slowly working his way through the order as well.
Yeah, they're going 3 wide. Overtaker's looking at the inside of Kelly. He knows who's had difficult.
Oh, Kelly's gone off big time. Kelly's in the wall, I think.
He has been in the wall. And that is massive. He's gone off with Smokey Devil.
Or has Smokey Devil gone off on his own? That is the question. But both of those guys have gone off at Puon, and not what they wanted there.
Has D-Biggs got... I think D-Biggs has got damage. Oh no, I thought there was no front bonnet. No bonnet on the front of that Audi. But no, D-Biggs is all fine. Overtaker up to 3rd already. D-Biggs looking at the inside of Monkey Boy. Monkey Boy shuts the door and... Oh, and Peaceful's collected. KLF's left the session. And Plava gets involved, so a 3-car pile up before the end of the first lap. Kelly has left, so we'll have to investigate that.
That's a quick quit on that one, as he has left the session. If it's a disconnection, it would have popped up saying disconnected, but he has left the session. And Matt Himovic and Fury are battling out for the race lead at the minute. So Kelly will take a qualifying ban going to Silverstone Classic. And if he doesn't turn up for Silverstone Classic, he'll have to carry that ban on to the next round, which I think is Hockenheim. I think is the round after that. But right now, Fury's putting a lot of pressure on Matt. And Matt knows how to race against Fury. These two have had a couple of races with each other in F1. And they're learning to race one another. As Biggs is into the pits, he will have to come in again. As Gary flashed his light there, just on Monkey Boy. Maybe these two had a little incident.
Gary had just got past Monkey Boy, but Fury is in the slipstream of Matt. And Fury tonight has looked stronger, but look who's in the background. It's the orange and black Lamborghini.
It is the orange and black Lamborghini of Overtaker trying to hunt the 2 Mercedes down, and he says that this car loves this track because of the fast corners, and he is now on the way to try and catch the 2 Mercedes boys. As Fury goes deep there, and Matt has to turn into mid corner. Biggs, he's obviously not very happy. I'm not sure who he means though, but yeah, a lot of the guys are a little bit frustrated in the chat, and if they want to just keep it out of the chat, that'd be very nice. But Overtaker's had a moment, because he's now 6.6 off the back of these two.
Yeah, he has. He definitely had a moment. Yeah, if the guys want to get in a party together and start shouting at each other, please do, but not in the chat.
Yeah, definitely so. And if you do enjoy listening to the drivers get angry with one another, then head over to the Gaming Welshman 5 on Twitch. Matt himself is very, very angry most of the time, and you get to hear his lovely little rants on his Twitch account. So if you want to see that, then head over to his channel. I'm pretty sure he had a couple of rants probably in race 1. But Fury now, it's just lost a little bit of time, obviously going a little bit deep into the top end of the circuit, but Overtaker really not able to catch these guys at this stage, as Gary's lost the place again to Monkey Boy. Smoky Devil catching him on as well.
Diesel has only just come out of the pits and he's nearly a lap down.
So did M Plaza also get involved in that accident as well?
Yeah, he did. It was M Plaza. I think D-Biggs and Monkey Boy caused the original crash, and then M Plaza just got involved.
As Kelly in the chat says, sick of this, so obviously he's not very happy either. A lot of unhappy drivers here at this stage. Kelly obviously quitting this race as Monkey Boy goes very deep in the final chicane. So M Plaza probably struggling with damage. He's going to struggle to come back from the back. If he hasn't got damage, then he's got a long way to go. But Fury and Matt just able to just extend their lead over Overtaker at this stage.
Yeah, they are. Gary needs to be careful how he gets past Monkey Boy, because he's got the hardest job at the minute, which is attacking and defending.
And he's also carrying that damage as well. You can see clearly one light is on and the other isn't. The right hand side of that Mercedes is a little crippled as they head up the top of Radion here, and Gary going around the outside as Monkey Boy goes to the inside. Look at Smokey come.
But Smokey is blocked. They're going to try and go free ride like Hagen and Schumacher, but Gary is the one who's lost out. He was looking up the inside, but Smokey's going to go up the inside of the Ferrari, but the Ferrari keeps the position.
Monkey Boy
Ferrari's gone
off. Monkey Boy did a very good job of defending it at the top of the Camel Straight, but he's lost out by going deep himself.
And now he's going to get the position back to Gary. Has Gary got a bit sideways there? Has he kept it together? Yes, he has.
As Pian in the chat says, okay, I'm back. Laptop issues. What have I missed? You've missed a lot. Matt and Fury are duking it out for the lead of this race as the pit window is now open. A big accident towards the start of Sector 3 as well, involving Gary, Peaceful, D-Biggs and N Plava. All those guys getting caught up in that. And Monkey Boy's dropped the rear. Poo on.
Yeah, Gary manages to go on. He's cutting the grass. He's going right up against the barrier, making sure he gets every single blade of grass.
He's been obviously asking tips on that there and running a little bit too much lawnmower championships with his Honda there. So Gary's managed to get back on track. The organisers of Spa here will be very happy that bit of grass is lovely and smooth now. As Matt and Fury are still battling it out for the race lead. Fury just seems to catch him and then drop off again. Seems like Matt has an advantage in most of the track, bar the middle sector. I think Fury has a bit more downforce on the rear.
I want to see what Overtaker's last lap. Oh, it's a 2:19.6. He's about 6/10 quicker than Fury, so he'll be on the back of these two in no time at all.
In no time at all. And obviously Smokey not having to worry about a teammate, so he can he does have a teammate, sorry. I'm trying to think of who else is Peaceful. D-Big's the only one not to worry about a teammate. My mind went a bit blank there for a second. And Fury not having to worry about a teammate. Gary's into the pits. We thought he would be after massive damage, but Gary gets his pit stop done and out of the way. Emplava into the pits, and it depends how much damage Emplava's got. If he's got not too much damage, he'll be able to get in, out, and off he goes. Overtaker already just in the first sector has brought that down to just under 5 seconds, so he is catching these two, but very slowly.
Yeah, he's catching them slowly each lap. The gap is now.
It's this sector.
Yeah, where he's gonna gain the most time, really.
It's all the fast corners where the Lamborghini just seems to be at home. After testing driving the Lamborghini quite a lot, it does like the fast corners. It's able to stick, even though there's not a lot of front downforce on that car. It's mechanically gripped so well as Emplava and Gary are on their way out the pits as Biggs goes through, but him and Peaceful will have to come into the pits again because they pitted without the pit window. But the Mercedes is very powerful in Sector 1. But I think for the rest of the circuit, the Lamborghini has just got a little bit more here.
It has his Furies. Having a look. What Overtaker needs is for Fury rather, to start having a go at Matt, and for Matt to start defending.
Well, what Overtaker could do right now, he's just in a window where he could possibly drop out behind either Smokey or Monkey Boy. clear them, and then he's got clear track. These two are too busy battling each other as they come towards the final sector, and they're going to carry on. Does Overtaker go for the undercut? That is the question. He does. Oh, he hits the wall, though.
He hit the wall. I think I remember before someone hitting the wall there, Simplay, and losing their rear wing. I think it might have been Monk last season.
Possibly so. Overtaker is in. How quick is his stop? Has that damage slowed his stop a little bit? Looks like it has.
Yeah, he's away now, so he's there for an extra few seconds. Smoky Devil is spun at the source.
Yep. So
the bus stop chicane.
Emplava now catching onto the back of Gary. Gary, obviously the first man to pit. Obviously Biggs pitting outside the pit window. The leading car for the pits at the minute is D Biggs. But like I said, he still has to pit at the right time. But Overtaker's cleared Smokey, so he's got a clear run here. He can just go flat out. But one of these two, I think, will have to try and react to him. If they want to win this race, they can't let Overtaker get too much clean air.
No, they've got to pit now, and the pair of them have got to pit now to try and hold Overtaker out.
Well, it seems like at this stage, Fury has more pace than Matt. So Matt's really got to choose his fight here. Fury is still a little bit down in the championship, so he could possibly cause to lose points to Fury, but he can't afford to lose points to Overtaker. So he really needs to make his priorities straight here, and the season is halfway through now. Championships will start to be coming into play here. Matt and Fury will be thinking about this as Big is into the pits and has managed to obey to the rules, so Biggs is not going to worry about that, as Peaceful is still yet to pit as well. He's actually just started the third sector, so he's way off the pace at the minute. Monkey Boy having a better showing here, but Gary already clearing Biggs, as does Emplava, and Emplava, I know he struggled there. Emplava, a 2:30.4. He's not on the pace at this race.
No, not at all. But Gary was a 2:38, but was that an outlap?
That is the question. Now, if I was one of these Mercedes boys, either one, I'd be coming into the pits. Peaceful also coming under the pit window as well. So he has got his pit stop done. We're just waiting for Fury, Matt, and yeah, Fury.
They're both in.
Both of them coming into the pits. Who's going to be the quickest stopper here? And where is Overtaker?
Fury's hit the wall as well.
The question is, will that help him? Will that help him? Because if you've got no damage and you get ever so slightly damage coming into the pits, it might help the pit stop even quicker, as most people know about the cheap pit stop. As Fury and Matt are in. Matt's gone. Where's Fury? He possibly was held. He was possibly held. More importantly, where is Overtaker? He's coming into the bus stop chicane. This had to be the perfect outlap for him and in-lap. So Overtaker coming into the chicane. He's not going to make that time, I don't think.
No, the pair of Smoky Devil now comes into the pit, so I think that is the final person to come in.
We're waiting for Monkey Boy as well. So Monkey Boy is the last man to pit. He goes a little bit deep in the chicane, and he's going to carry on through. Is that
Matt has extended his gap over Fury. Overtaker.
He didn't really gain much, did he?
No, he didn't really gain much, but I think that's because Matt and Fury came straight into the pit, so he couldn't gain much.
Let's go on board with Monkey Boy a minute, because I don't know if he's in that car or not. The car just seems very AI-like, but no, that's Monkey Boy. That's definitely Monkey Boy.
Yeah, definitely Monkey Boy.
I think it was just a view. It just looked like he was in the AI for a second. But Overtaker somewhat maintained that gap. Matt has actually made a mistake up at the top of the Kemmel straight. He's lost 2 seconds to Fury. And Fury now is onto the back of Matt once again. So they've got their pit stops done halfway through this race. And so far so good for Matt. But Overtaker will be wanting to take time out of these two.
Oh yeah, he'll want these two to squabble, because then he can get onto the back. He's got a massive gap back to Smoky Devil, because Monkey Boy's still got to pit, so Monkey Boy is... he doesn't have to worry about Monkey Boy, because Monkey Boy is going to be further down the field.
He is indeed, as on Tuesday night I secured my first win in the touring cars for the Astra and extended my gap between myself and Fury for the wins here at Simplay Motorsport. So Fury would really want to get past Matt right now and try and keep that gap as low as possible to myself. But he's definitely got a very, very tricky customer in front of him with Matt Imovic, also wanting to try and get as many race wins here at Simplay Motorsport. A little bit handicapped as he's only just been racing for the last 3 seasons, while the rest of us are pretty much on season 6 now. And Fury coming onto the back of him, but at this minute, Matt has got an answer. Oh, Fury goes a bit deep in the chicane though.
Yeah, overtake again is just closing ever so slowly. What are these guys' lap times 220? Well, these outlaps Fury, a quicker outlap overtaker, straight back in the 219.
Yeah, he is back in the 219s.
Yeah.
Fury wasn't too far off that pace though. He was just in the low 220s, but he just had Matt in the way. So Matt obviously really hindering Fury's progress at the minute. But Overtaker will soon know that Fury, one of the younger drivers here at Simplay Motorsport, as Monkey Boy finally pits, he will soon to learn that Fury's quite a feisty fighter and he will fight it to the end. And there was a loss of alliteration there for Fury there. I didn't even come up with that. Feisty Fury.
Fury is quite an aggressive character on track, that he'll fight for every position, and if he sees a gap, he'll go for it.
Fury will fight it to the death for sure. Overtaker is catching these two. 2.6 seconds separating the leaders and Overtaker. Fury has got to start worrying now, because that Lamborghini is getting bigger and bigger in his rearview mirror as Overtaker is wanting to get another race win here. He didn't quite get the 216 that he said he could do, but 218 is still phenomenal pace here at Spa. But these two have got to do everything they can to keep him behind him, because they're now pretty much in a championship fight. The top 3 of the championship are leading this race.
Yeah, they are indeed, and Matt and Fury just got to hope that they don't make a single mistake. If they make a single mistake, that Lamborghini is going to be through as quick as you like.
He will be indeed. And the question here, though, Jamie, is obviously, like I said, we're at the halfway stage of the season, and the championship is now starting to become more visible for all of these drivers here. It's all about focusing on that, with no drop score and no double points either to really help them out. Fury and Matt here have really got to decide how hard they want to fight. Overtaker is in the comfortable seat here. He's got a comfortable championship lead, and he can afford to just sit there for a minute.
He can sit there with the bucket of popcorn and just watch things unfold, because he knows even if he didn't win this race, he's not going to lose his championship lead, and he's still going to have quite a decent margin. Whereas Fury's not had his past few rounds have not been very good. So his old race 2, he didn't score a single point, so he lost a lot of points to Overtaker, who won that race.
Yeah,
and
Matt needs to redeem his first race, because that was pretty much just throw it out the window kind of situation. The Fury's had a great run through Eau Rouge and Radion. He is right on the rear wing of Matt Imovic. Matt will have to make one move for his defence, but I don't think Fury's close enough. He's not, so he just sits in behind a little bit longer. But Matt just having a bit of a slow mid-season. He said he's not enjoying the Mercedes as much as he did the Acura. He said he's probably going to get back in the Acura for the winter season.
Yeah, so that grass that you see there will be nice and cut. It'll be fitting a nice shiny new blade to it.
Oh, did you see Matt's rear end there? Just stepping out just ever so slightly. Yeah. Overtaker will be loving that.
Fury's going to have a look down the inside. He doesn't. He's going to go to the outside. That's not white move there for Fury, but Fury sits behind.
He does sit behind. We just go past the mid-race of this race, and Matt is leading the pole. Well, Fury as well. There's only 4 votes, 50-50 between these two. But at the minute, Overtaker is breathing down their neck. What else is going on track? Not a lot, as Smokey is currently in 4th, Monkey Boy 5th. Good recovery from Monkey after that poor race 1. Gary in 6th, and Emperava 7th. D-Biggs 8th, and Peaceful 9th. And Kelly with retiring after that race. You will not see him next in the next qualifying session. But Fury here really needs to start putting Matt under pressure, because that Lamborghini is just seconds away.
Yeah, I wonder whether on Fury's mirrors it says objects in mirror may appear larger than they actually are.
Yeah, definitely.
And he'll just see See that Lamborghini right behind him.
The thing is, though,
Overtake.
another thing to mention here is obviously Matt has spent enough time with Fury behind him. Matt's learnt where Fury's strong now. He knows where he's going to be strong and where he needs to defend. Fury is either going to catch Matt out, or he's just got to hope for a mistake, because at this minute, he can't find a way through.
No, he can't. Excuse me. He can't find a way through, and all this is doing is bringing the Lamborghini closer and closer. But Fury has got to catch. He's got to catch Matt sleeping.
He does have
And
to catch him.
he's got a good run. But is Matt going to show him to the outside? Fury's having a little look. But again, the problem with the cars are they're the same car, but that car at the back isn't. That's a different car. As Fury almost gets into the back of Matt.
Fury here is being really precise. He couldn't be any closer to the back of Matt, and he is brilliant driving here. And there's not much Fury can do right now, because he hasn't got the straight line speed in the slipstream.
Matt's gone wide.
Matt has gone wide. Overtaker is there, but if anything happens between these guys, they're going to cause a massive accident. Smoky Devil is 45 seconds behind, and Fury gets a run.
Fury gets a run, but Matt's got the better straight line speed. Now Overtaker's going to try and follow through. Fury up the inside. Matt's going to run a little bit wide, and Overtaker is going to try and follow through. But Matt's on the outside. Fury's going to run him off wide, and they make contact. Fury pisses him wide, and Fury's off.
Big moment there for Fury. He is into the wall, and this is exactly what I was saying. Damage to Fury. He will not be happy about that whatsoever. So Fury will have to try and rush to the pits, or even try and hang it out for the rest of this race. But he's got a 36-second gap over Smokey. But Overtaker 2/10 behind Matt already. And Matt, after that little moment with Fury, he's now unsettled, and he's got the Lamborghini behind him. A different car. He's going to be under pressure here from Overtaker into the final chicane. The two championship leaders of this season, and they're going 2-0 here at Spa.
He's having a look round the outside. Is Overtaker going to move to the inside? Matt goes to the inside. Overtaker's going to try and go around the outside. We know what Matt will do. He'll just shove him wide. Matt's gone deep though. Overtaker's going to look for the cutback, but he went too wide. And
Matt, they're just releasing the brake as he goes into the first half of that chicane. Lets the car drift wide. Obviously, Overtaker could not go around the outside. That would have been a brave move to do so. Fury really struggling.
Matt had a wiggle.
At this rate, Smoky Devil will look like he might get on the podium here, because Fury's really struggling to get back to the pits. If he's into the pits now, I reckon he is.
No, he's continued on.
He has continued on. He's going to hang on for 4 more laps.
Overtaker has got a brilliant run, but that Mercedes is so strong in a straight line that Overtaker's on the grass.
He just got caught out there as he's lost a little bit of time there. He's lost the slipstream to Matt. And Matt, I think he's carrying less rear wing than possibly Fury, because Fury couldn't do anything even in the slipstream, and he just seems to have a less downforce, and he seems to struggle in this section as well, as Overtaker is right behind him.
He's right. Overtaker gets on the grass as well. He's trying to win favour with Matt to let him through by cutting the grass.
But once again, Overtaker isn't losing that much in championship. He's probably just losing 3, maybe a couple of points to Matt here, just by sitting in second. After a great race 1, he could just sit in second and score the points. What's better, race win or a championship? That is the question.
Yeah, because he saw what happened with Fury. Matt held it round the outside, didn't do anything wrong. I think Fury lost it on the curb, and Fury's now come off worse, and he could lose a podium out of it. Is Overtaker just going to sit behind, take the points, because he knows from Zolder last week that Matt is a very, very good defender.
He is a very good defender, as Matt is doing everything he possibly can. This is where the Lamborghini seems so strong here, as they head towards the end of this lap, and looks like Overtaker trying to get a nose down the inside, but he's not quite close enough to do so. As did they have a wiggle there? They both touched by the looks of things, and Overtaker has to bail out of that one.
Yeah, he's not close enough now to make a lunge up the inside. Fury is now 20 seconds behind these, and he's 24 ahead of Smoky Devil. It all depends what his last lap was. Matt has now got a little bit of breathing room, so he can just let off a sigh of just have a breather for a minute until that Lamborghini comes back again.
Only for a slight second though, because that Lamborghini is on the move and on his way. As the poll's gone out for driver of the day. Get your votes in on who you think is driver of the day. If you don't think it's the 4 on the list, Fury, Overtaker, Matt and M. Plava, then obviously drop your message in the chat. As Sutty says, where's Kelly? He's quit after a big moment through Puon in lap 1. So we won't see Kelly for the rest of this race, but it is between Matt and Overtaker for round 12, the midpoint of the season. And obviously, Jamie, I'll be coming to yourself towards the end of the stream for your driver of the day. But if you are new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe button and like the video too as well, as it does help us out massively here. Hit the bell to be notified for when we are live so you don't miss any of the action. Overtaker!
Having a look down the inside. Matt's going to have the line around the outside. He's going to be on the inside for the next squad. Matt, there's a little bit of contact between the pair of them. Overtaker's going to try and get the run on. There's contact between the pair of them. They've got a lap car in front as well, which I think is peaceful. A flash there from Matt.
I'm not sure why Matt is flashing there. They do both come together. It was very tight between one another.
That's peaceful off. Peaceful having another shocking race. Overtaker having another look down the inside, but he gets caught out. He's going to go right around the outside. Surely not. Matt's going to surely shove him the door, and indeed he does. Overtaker's got to try once again.
As Emo Guy just in the chat, and I see him in the chat. Evening, everybody. Evening, guys. Sorry for the no-show tonight. Moved into my own house and had not yet set the PS4. No worries, buddy. And I hope you're all nice and settled in. Your teammate, though, has taken a race win already. Oh, Matt chopping his nose there. Overtaker is not happy with that. That's the first time we've seen him flash this season.
Yeah, is this now where Matt's going to run wide? The Overtaker's going to be on the outside. Is he just going to send it around the outside on the brakes? Something Sutty would be proud of. They make contact again, and Matt kind of pushes him wide. So Overtaker cuts across the corner, but obviously Matt is going to take the position back. But Overtaker's kept the lead.
Whoa! What are these two doing here? That is,
yeah, Overtaker, I think, was giving the position back, giving the position back to Matt, and I think Matt was just coming onto his line to take to the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Overtaker lifted by the looks of things to give Matt the position back, and Matt, obviously, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I'm gonna have to note that one down because I'm not sure exactly what happened.
Yeah, that was a bit of an odd one. I'm sure they'll tell all at the end of the race.
Yeah, they will do indeed, especially if they come into the party. Fury still trying to hang in there for third place position. He is losing a lap after lap to Smoky Devil. The gap is now down to 12 seconds between those two, and Fury just now trying to damage limitations with that car, but no other fights really going on. DB's catching on to the back of Monkey Boy. I've just noticed also Monkey Boy's dropped down the order quite a bit. He was doing really well in 5th place, but he's lost out to Gary and M. Plava. So those two have improved there. Overtaker so far leading the way for the votes for driver of the day. 33 his way, but Matt is trying everything he possibly can to keep Overtaker behind him. I think Overtaker is feeling stressed out because this is the slowest he's been all week.
Yeah, say Matt is defending so hard. He's not giving Overtaker an inch of room. Say these two have made contact with each other, but they haven't been too aggressive with each other. It's just it's a racing we want to see from these two.
It was just turn 1. It just seems a little bit unsure. We're not sure what happened there, but Overtaker and Matt battling it tooth and nail. We know Overtaker has the overall pace round here, but he just can't seem to find a way past Matt. He has another wiggle going through there. He's going to go down the inside of the bus stop, but he chooses better of it, trying to make Matt miss his braking, and he doesn't do that, and Overtaker goes for the switchback, trying to get a better drive out the corner, but Matt's there.
Matt is going to try to the outside. Is he going to go all the way around the outside of the source? Matt is going to try and crowd him out of the move, but Overtaker, is he going to look for the cutback? Matt positions the car well.
The only options he's been given is the outside, and he just can't find a way through. It looked like Fury Dot was stopped for a second on the run down towards Radion, and possibly so because Fury's car is covering massive damage, having contact with these two after Puon earlier on in the race. But Matt and Overtaker going at it. Overtaker has finally got the run, but Matt really doesn't want to give him a driver's car's whip space there.
Overtaker trying to cut back to the inside. Is he going to have a lunge down the inside? He does. And there's they make a little bit of contact, but they give each other enough respect. And Overtaker is he's now got the inside. There's nothing Matt can do about this one.
And Overtaker goes down the inside of Matt. Matt's going to have to hang it strong and try and send it into No Name. He goes very wide, and he does do so, but he's not going to be able to get the job done. Overtaker gives him so much space, and he manages just to stay ahead. Matt has finally lost the race lead here to Overtaker, and into Puon they go. Matt, there's nothing he can do because the Lamborghini is so strong in this section.
Yeah, there is nothing he can do at all.
Overtaker has managed to take the race lead and is going to possibly go for another win here at Spa-Francorchamps. But Matt has put on a fantastic defense here. Overtaker runs a little bit wide. Matt has just got to hope and pray that Overtaker makes a mistake between the end of this race. But Matt is pushing as hard as he possibly can. But he is running out of time as they come to the end of the penultimate lap of this race. Fury is losing so much time to Smokey Devil. Smokey Devil might still be on the podium yet.
Yeah, he might well be. It all depends how much damage how much Fury is struggling with his damage. But Matt looks like he's now lost this race, but he's gonna have a little look.
Overtaker's gone very whoa,
and Matt went too deep as well. I think Matt was trying to outbrake Overtaker. Overtaker outbraked himself, and Matt then outbraked himself.
Definitely so, as Matt's going to try and send it into turn one, but he doesn't do so. Overtaker just looks...
Oh, there's a little punt up the rear.
Oh, I think the tempers are starting to rise between these two as they start the final lap of this race. Matt knows he's running out of time here. 1 lap to go. This is where the Mercedes is stronger, but Matt really messed up turn one, so he's not going to be able to attack Overtaker through here. And Matt has got no answer. Fury still trying to hang in there for that 3rd place position. Rest of the grid is still set in stone. And these two are battling it out. Overtaker goes to the inside. Matt looking for any opportunity here, Jamie. And it's going to the end here between these two.
It is as good. Matt is getting very close to it. This is where the Mercedes is good. Overtaker's going to defend to the inside. But is Matt just going to send it? Matt's having a look, but he's too far back.
Matt might just have to meet defeat here and just think that, okay, we may not be able to beat him here, but we do go to Silverstone Classic where the Mercedes should be strong there. Overtaker runs wide. He's going to have to give that time back. Matt's flashing like mad, and he's flashing a little bit too much once again. So he just needs to tone that down a little bit. But Overtaker running wide from Puon.
Yeah, Matt's not going to be happy if Overtaker starts to take track limits, because this could cost Matt a chance at winning this race.
It will be indeed, but I think Overtaker might have just done enough unless Matt goes for one last do or die into the bus stop. Who is going to win this race? But nonetheless, the midpoint of the season, and these two are fighting it out like it's the last race of the championship. Overtaker has won the first race tonight. He's just got to make it through the bus stop and he would win the second race tonight. Overtaker in the Lamborghini, the 25 Lamborghini. Looks like he's going to hang in there. Has Matt got anything left in him as they head towards the bus stop? Is Matt going to try and send it? No, he doesn't. He's just going to have to concede for second place. And yeah, Overtaker.
Overtaker is going to get the London buses. He's going to get 2 from 2 as he comes across the line for first. Matt finishes second, but a brilliant race between these two.
Absolutely brilliant. These two really batting it out. Fury, with his wounded Mercedes, is dragging it to the end. Where is Smokey Devil? I think Smokey Devil himself has made just one too many mistakes. Fury managing to finally get back used to that car again. But Fury, considering he didn't be able to qualify for race 1 and wasn't able to qualify for race 2, he's bringing it home as he's lifting through that corner there. Has he got a lot of fuel? Is that another issue?
No, he's got 10 litres of
Oh,
fuel,
it's
so
just
he's
the damage. Or does he nearly mess up the bus stop? But Fury is going to come home and finish on the podium once again. So Fury drags that car back home into third place position. He'll be happy that he was able to do that, but won't be happy between Matt and Overtaker. Smoky Devil, very good round for him. He comes home in fourth place position, with Gary coming towards him fifth as Peaceful crosses the line in ninth place position. And Gary, what could have been for him tonight, looked like he had the pace, but not quite been his way in fifth place. Emplava, race 2 really didn't go his way and will come home for sixth place position, with D-Biggs in 7th, and 8th will be Monkey Boy, who looked like he had a good pace earlier on but just dropped off. And Jamie, what a race that was between the top two as Emplava crosses the line.
That was a brilliant race between the top two. A bit of contact, but there's always contact in motor racing. That's what we expect. It was good that neither of them crashed, and Empire was disconnected right as he's gone across the line. Probably the best time to disconnect.
Yeah, definitely. So as Monkey Boy crosses the line to finish the order as well. So that is your race. Round 12 over and done with, and it is Overtaker who takes the win. With the fastest lap also, Matt will take second, third is Fury, fourth is Smoky Devil, fifth is Gary 131, sixth is D-Big, seventh. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Gary will be fifth, sixth will be Emplava, but he did disconnect. D-Biggs will be seventh, eighth will be Monkey Boy, and ninth will be Peaceful. If we could just get Matt into the party as well, I think Jamie's already done that. So Jamie, let's see what the votes for driver of the day is. It's gone the way of Matt on the votes there, and I think Matt has probably also updated the championship standings as well, he has done. And we'll start with the championship standings, as it is Overtaker who still leads the way with a 64-point gap over Matt on 197. Fury in that third place position, with Biggs moving up into fourth place. Andy currently still in fifth place position. How long can he stay there for? Don't think very long, as they head Silverstone Classic, and Empire was only a point behind him in sixth. Gary 131 in seventh. Peaceful in 8th place position. Emo Guy dropping down to 9th. 10th is Mazda. 11th is KLF. 12th is Sati Apex. 13th is Smoky Devil. 14th Argent. And 15th is Monkey Boy. Disco bringing up the rear in the team championship. It looks like this. Silence of the Lambos still leading the way, with Jaeger Motorsport in second. Teletubby Motorsport in third. Fourth is Smoking Hot Racing. Fifth is Pushing Limits Racing, with sixth place Audio Sport Pro Labs. Seventh is Simplay Racing, and Slingshot Motorsport bringing up the rear. I don't think we've had Fury into the chat, so we will start with Matt. And Matt, race 1 was a race to forget, probably. Obviously jumping the start as well. Jamie giving us a confirmation that you did jump the start and had to do a drive through. But race 2, second place, probably the best you could do, but you were really trying to hang it out there towards the end of the race.
Nat should have won that race, got overtaken off the track.
I'm pretty sure that you'll be probably putting it into the stewards, but nonetheless, you got to be happy with that. You had a good fight with Fury earlier on. Just he didn't seem to have any. He didn't seem to have any answer to you though, did he?
No, he just seemed a bit better than me. I'll tell you exactly where I was losing it on. That's the bus stop chicane, and then turn 1 he gained on me a little bit as well, and then after I got through turn 1 of Eau Rouge, I just felt like I was pulling on him in the straights in that middle sector. I think I had the better end of the stick over Fury, but just the bus stop chicane and turn 1, every single lap Fury just closed right in there, and it just kept going deep a lot at the final chicane. I clipped Overtaker once after he got past me, which I saw on the stream. It looked a bit like I just fell into back of him, but I've really struggled for turn 1 and at the chicane all week to get this Mercedes stopped and turned in. When I do, I seem to have a massive wiggle. To not get a wiggle, I have to run. I run deep. It's just not. Something's not felt right this week in this car.
But nonetheless, you do get this week out the way. We do head to Silverstone Classic for the next round. You're 64 points behind Overtaker at the minute. So it's still a long way to go, but there are circuits that will benefit this car. Silverstone Classic, possibly one of those, and also Daytona. So it's not all doom and gloom so far.
It's hard to find a silver lining. You've got a guy that's got, and hats off to him. He's a quick guy, and he's a good driver. just seems to have all the luck in the world. Gary said he hit the imaginary wall and seemed to just get no damage. His pit stop was lightning, and he was lightning and won the race. Every time I've hit the imaginary wall, I've blown my engine. I've had massive suspension and aero damage. You've got a guy that's not only quick and consistent. You've got a guy that the luck's just going his way, and it's like when you've got that kind of luck going your way, Dan, you know as well as anybody with the likes of Gary back in a couple of seasons ago, when luck's going your way like that, the rest, it's 60 odd points. I've got 2 tracks that might favour the Mercedes-Benz. It's not enough.
There are circuits that we do possibly head to that Overtaker made another race at, possibly like Ostraslaben and stuff like that. So anything can still happen, and you know that as well. With weather and also everything's still yet to play for this season. But we go to Silverstone Classic next. Are you looking forward to it, or is it a circuit that you probably might struggle again?
I don't mind Silverstone Classic. No, I don't mind Silverstone Classic. Hopefully the weather's kind to us. I reckon if it's dry, the Merc should be quite quick around there. It's a quick circuit, and the Merc's a quick car. So I think that it could favour the Mercedes-Benz. Obviously, we know what the Mercedes is like at Daytona, so Silverstone Classic, I'm hoping for a bit similar to that, where the Mercedes is a bit dominant. Weather's got to be kind to us. I mean, the lovely weather we're having in Britain at the minute, hopefully it carries on that way into next week. But just a bad night, and going into next week, we've got to bounce back, because we did it after Kota. We had a bad week at Kota, we bounced back with a win at Zolder. We've got to do the same this week, because I've had a bad week this week. Gary's had a bit of unfortune as well this week. Just want to point out, by the way, which used to missed on stream, and you will love, we Gordon Shed and Matt Neod it in race 1, hence why we both dropped down the orders.
I knew something had happened there, but
Gary ran wide span and then come back on as he was spinning.
We thought something, because obviously Gary had damage to the front end, you had damage to the side. Nonetheless, mate, congratulations on P2 tonight, and we will see you in a week's time. Well, actually, no, we'll see you on Tuesday night as we head to the final round of the touring cars.
Yeah, indeed, we were looking forward to it. Cheers, guys.
Right, and we now head to the winner of tonight. Both race wins and fastest lap, pretty much a grand slam here tonight. Overtaker, congratulations. You've absolutely dominated it here at Spa. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, man. Mike was fighting the inevitable, but I knew I had the pace to get past him. It wasn't the cleanest of races, but I would put that down to the defending of Matt. I was trying to be as clean as possible. But yeah, it was a strong track for me. I knew I had a lot of pace here, so it was okay.
Yeah, you seem like you definitely had the overall pace over pretty much everybody here tonight, and obviously with that kind of pace advantage here at Spa, you really needed to set a massive set stone in points here, heading to circuits that we've probably never seen you been at, especially a circuit like Silverstone Classic. Have you ever run this car there, and how are you feeling about going to Silverstone Classic?
Yeah, if I'm honest, I thought it was the Silverstone GP. The normal Silverstone, so I've never driven here. There, so we'll see. I don't know the track. You said it's fast paced, so we'll see.
Momentum is on your way at the minute. Like I said, 64 points ahead of Matt. You've got to start thinking a little bit more cautiously in racing, possibly when you think you've got a championship on the line here.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's far ahead. I think. You have to race the car in front of you, and that's how you win the championships.
Well, nonetheless, mate, congratulations on an absolute demolition here tonight, and we will see you in a week's time at Silverstone Classic.
Thanks, cheers.
And Jamie, what a night's worth of racing. Race 1 brought us some dramas, and race 2 also with the top 2 championship contenders. We're only at the halfway season, and both of them are going door to door. This is going to be an interesting end to this season.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting end to the season. It'll be interesting to see what happens at Silverstone Classic, because we've not seen GT3 cars around there. Obviously, you can't watch GT3 cars around Silverstone Classic, so we just don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, we'll be in for some brilliant racing, and hopefully the top 2 can start where they've left off tonight.
Yeah, definitely. So also quickly, driver of the day from yourself?
Driver of the day goes to Overtaker.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree on that one. Overtaker really did set the bar here. I'm going to obviously give an honourable mention to Smoky Devil and Fury as well. So those two having a very good round here. Obviously Fury getting caught up in that incident. But we will be heading a week's time out to Silverstone Classic. The first time the GT3s will run here. Chosen by Dean Wasocki. Can history repeat himself? His words last night in the Pro-Am. Make sure you tune in to see if he's able to do that next week. Matt obviously going to try and do what I did last season in the McLaren and try and hunt down Overtaker as much as he possibly can. Anything can happen this season. Myself, Jamie, Matt, everybody knows that here. You can't count anybody out towards the end. Can Fury gain on the back of these two and try and stop being third place position every season this season back in the Pro? But most importantly, we will see you on Tuesday night for the final round of the British Touring Car Championships. We head to Scotland and not kill. The top 12 are going to be battling out. Fury, Cobb, Jay, and myself, the top 4, all battling out. I have an outside chance of winning it. Probably unlikely, but who knows at not kill? Will we get rain? That is the question. Jamie, what a night's worth of racing, and I'm looking forward to the touring cars.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the touring cars as well.
Well, that is it from us here at Simplay Motorsport. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, hit the bell to be notified so you don't miss any action here.